welcome to Draw With Me Kids Edition. Episode
36.
36.
Did I do that right? 36.
Keys and doors.
Keys and doors.
I'm going to be showing about keys, and my mom is going to help about doors.
That's right. And I'm going to teach you a few things about taking the basic shape of a rectangle, which is our door shape, and how we can stretch it and pull it to make trapezoids and parallelograms, and that can change the size perspective of your door. So get your pencils, your papers, and your erasers ready. And let's go. This is the chameleon I did digitally. This is the one Miss Rainbows did digitally. This is Cammie and Cece, who are BAFFs, best animal friends forever. I love it. So I'm sure there's some more to come. We just haven't put up the photo album yet, so we're a little bit behind on doing that. So I don't know, do you want to start today, Miss Rainbows, or do you want me to start?
Okay, I'll start if you want to.
Okay, well, let me get you into the action.
If you have a key.
Do you have a key? Would you like to show everybody your key?
Like I do, I have my key.
Mm-hmm.
If you put it down, watch, you can trace it.
You want to trace the key?
If you want to trace it, you can trace it. But if you want to do your own key, I will show you how. So
well, I don't have a key to trace. So I'm going to have to wait for your instructions.
Just trace around the edge if you have a key and you want to make the same sort of key. Like I have.
Well, while you're tracing it, there's some pretty cool things about keys, that anatomy about keys. There's teeth on keys, which are all the little bumps on the edges. There's the main, I can't remember what that's called, the head of the key, I believe, where you can turn it.
If you want to make a key more of a modern key, or like more of this sort of key that people will make now. First of all, choose a shape, any basic shape, and
okay, I'm gonna
draw
do
it
a heart
where you want the head of the key to be. I'm gonna do with a star.
I'm gonna do a heart. So this is the head part. This is the main part of the key where you would hold on to turn.
Get your eraser. And erase. Oh, my eraser's really bad.
I'm sorry. I picked a really crummy eraser. Is this eraser better? Might be the same eraser.
No, it's better.
Okay.
So
here's another one.
No, it's good.
I'm just gonna keep handing her erasers.
Okay. So erase a tiny bit of the bottom, like I've done with my star. My mom is doing with her heart. Next,
this doesn't look like a heart.
Make a line straight down.
I'm doing mine on the side, so I'm doing a little bit differently. I'm doing mine sideways, and you're doing yours up and down.
Then, like, draw it from your area. Then, if you want to, you can replace back the part that you erased.
I felt like it because it didn't look like a heart. It looked like a bone instead for me.
And you can, that can be like the top, the head where you hold it.
Yeah.
Like this piece where I'm holding it. Then you can choose, you can put circles, you can put squares and triangles. Just along the edge of where you want your key grooves to be.
Yep.
Then
I'm
put a
gonna
line running straight into them. And then you just draw whatever shape you want on the ends. And you change it and edit the one on the end.
Do we have any Kingdom Hearts fans that'd like to draw with us? I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. Okay, carry on with your thing, with your lesson, because I'm going to do this as a keyblade next.
Next, just erase those symbols lightly, then draw the part that if you were, like, to help you if you wanted to, I'm not, but what you could do is you draw lines straight through the shapes before erasing them, and then...
Well, that's what I ended up doing, and then I erased it.
And then and then you erase the part that's on the outside, because you want the part on the inside or the outside, depending on what you want. Like, if you want one that goes in, or you want one like my mom has, where she wants them out.
Yeah.
You can change that how you like.
You can sort of change it, because what really a key is with those bumps is how you get how it adjusts the tumblers on the inside of your lock. So they all have to be little pieces of metal inside your lock have to be lifted or moved at the right time.
It says I used to be in the fandom, but I kind of grew out of it.
Well, it's funny because I was a big fan in 1, and then I didn't like 2 as much, and then I kind of got back into it with 3, and I didn't really finish 3. But I really loved the first one, so I really liked Sora and his story, and now I'm not sure. I'm going to try to get back into 3, but I really liked Keyblades, and I want to have a Keyblade, and I was going to get one for Halloween, but I didn't.
So, next you're going to draw as many lines as you like, straight through the middle, and that, like the edges, like the grooves or the teeth, will adjust the tumblers in your
That's
lock.
right, the tumblers in your blocks, in your lock. So one of the cool things I like about keys, I like having like skeleton keys or old-fashioned keys is another thing that I like to do, which is just simply...
I know, I'm going to teach them, Mommy. I'm going to teach. Then the fantasy kind of old-fashioned keys.
Yeah, you show me a fantasy old-fashioned key. I'm doing it on the side.
You're going to draw an oval on the side. On this side. Kind of like I have right here, if you can see it. Next, you're going to draw another one on the inside. And the first oval ring that you made on the outside, erase a tiny bit there. And add a tiny, like, rectangle with kind of curvy edges.
Yeah.
And add another one.
Curvy rectangle.
Then just a bit smaller than your rectangles, like that. Make your little line.
Oh, I like how you did yours. You're doing it like this to sort of give it that metal attach. I like that.
And then put down like this. Kind of keys like that. Blades kind of like that. And teeth.
Yeah. I did.
And if you want to,
I like how you ended yours there. That's nice.
If you want to, you can keep going after the teeth. You can add more, you can add less. You could even add another one of those little, like, rectangle things on the end with a round bit. You could add what my mom's adding. You can add
the kind of, just like everything else we draw, you can kind of change it, make it your own thing, and add, like I was talking about Keyblades earlier, and they're just basically oversized keys that are sort of like a sword that have different themes to them, and you can sort of change them and draw them and make them, like you could put a skull on it to be really symbolic of a skeleton key. But a skeleton key was a key that could open pretty much any door in a house, which meant that it could trigger or all the tumblers on its own, which I think is kind of cool. I really like all these different keys that you've helped us make here, Miss Rainbows. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to show you guys, I mean, we all know how to draw doors. We all know how to do rectangles and doors. So for any of my younger artists that are watching, a door is a pretty easy thing to draw, right? You've got your two straight lines. Not very straight there, that one. And you just basically draw yourself a rectangle if you want. You can add semicircle on top if you want to do something more like a curved archway. You can do pretty much anything you want with this shape for a door. I'm just going to go with the rectangle because that's a little easier to sort of describe the next step. So for my more advanced artists,
I have one that I kind of took the top and I stretched it like diagonally a little.
I'm going to talk a little bit about why we would do that and how you can do that. So if you have a door, this door might look just like this, and you'd have just a normal, I'm going to do a normal stick person. Ta-da, I'm a normal stick person who would sort of walk through this door as a very tall person to walk through this door. But what if you wanted to show perspective? And this is where, if I have any of my younger artists here who might get a little bit upset or frustrated, not to worry. If you want to just draw a door with a rectangle like it is and start decorating that door, like putting Christmas wreaths and that kind of stuff on, you can go ahead, not to worry. This is for tips for some of my older, more experienced artists. When you're doing a door, you can sort of take that rectangle shape and turn it into other shapes. So Sophia mentioned she turned hers into a trapezoid, right?
Yeah, a slight trapezoid. What I did was I took the top of my rectangle and I made kind of a little bit of a diagonal line going up to the top, but not a lot of it.
So when you're doing a trapezoid shape, sort of like what Miss Rainbows did, you're making something you can almost draw exactly what I've done here. I've kept it the same size, but I drew the trapezoid with the point down, and that can make it look like you're looking from the top mantle, or you're somebody really, really tall looking down onto this door. So
I just made mine look like a wacky weird door.
Well, you can make it like a wacky weird door, like something you would walk into for Alice in Wonderland if you wanted. But in this perspective, maybe you've got like a bird who's perched up here and you're sort of looking at it from the perspective of the bird who's way up here looking down from the mantle. So that's a trapezoid door. That's sort of, you can use it to make it like a wacky door that's like this and a normal person stands beside it. But maybe what you're looking at here is somebody who sort of, their legs would be just a little bit shorter, their body would be a little bit, you'd be looking down on them in a different perspective. Then you can sort of flip that and make the door look huge. You can imagine. This would be from the perspective of somebody who's very short and looking up at the door. So that maybe you would have like a little or smaller person sort of standing there looking up at this. But this is sort of the perspective of bird, not, the other one's bird's eye view, which is why I drew the bird. This one is sort of short looking up, so it can make the door look incredibly huge. So this might be a regular sized person that's standing there, but this is one of the biggest doors they've ever come to. So that's just the door closed. Hopefully I'm not making anybody too like frustrated or worried.
It's easy. I can show here what I'm doing. This is how I make my door open.
Oh no, can you push the red button for me, please? Somebody's calling.
Daddy.
Hi, from Gatineau.
Off. I clicked it.
Are we? Okay, so what we're gonna do here.
But what I did here, I can show mine. I have a smaller kind of door. Then I made another rectangle. And then I could draw whatever I want on the inside in this section, from what you can see. That's how I made my slightly
There's nothing weird going on in the thing. Is that how you did it? Okay. I'm going to show that perspective too in a second. Okay. So that's how you're drawing your opening your door. Well, I like doing the opening perspective too. How did you change yours? Did you just sort of...
The more I wanted it open,
Yep.
the smaller that I made my door, and the bigger that I made my rectangles.
That's kind of cool. Well, I'm going to show you another coolness here on how you do that, because if you want to open your door, you have to think about where your door is coming from. Is it coming towards you? Is it going away from you? So this is sort of a perspective lesson, really, which can be a little bit frustrating for some people, but maybe not. So here's my door frame. So if I wanted to change this and make my door, I'm going to do it in blue so you can see it. Look like it's opening. I have to think about where my eyesight is. Hello from Gatineau. You kind of made a feature on our on our thing. We got your ring. So you would take a look from the perspective of where your eye level is going to be, and you think about drawing lines that go to the horizon. So that's for my older artists that can try that. And my younger artists can try it too, just if they want to get an idea. So if you're trying to draw a door that's opening away from you, you would consider doing a very interesting trapezoid like that. So that is the door opening inward. I have the handle on a weird side, but there you go. So you would try diagonalize.
The door might have two handles on it.
Hmm?
The door might have two handles on it.
Maybe this is a double door. I don't know. That'd be one way of doing it. If you wanted to have it coming towards you, you would consider opening the door. Maybe a little bit, I'm exaggerating the angle, but you might use a similar angle. And there's the door open. You might have that rectangle straight on with the door looking at you. But again, as Miss Rainbows has mentioned, she's only drawing half of the door in her version of an open door. And that's sort of what we're doing too, but we're changing it from a rectangle into an elongated trapezoid. So that can kind of give you the perspective. This almost looks like it's, oops, this almost looks like it's one big giant trapezoid. But this would give you the idea of, and that would be where our hinges are, of a door opening in or out. You can do that a little bit differently if you don't want it all the way open and you just want to have it the perspective opening towards you. I'm going to draw my rectangle shape again really quickly. So if you want to have that perspective of the door opening towards you, but it's still partially closed, you wouldn't have that much of an exaggerated line on the angle. And you sort of have to decide how tall is the character, or where are you as a viewer looking at this door. It might make the door slightly bigger, or you could go really exciting and make it really big because maybe you're right up next to the door as you're opening it. So there's one way you could do it. It's creating angles, sort of a trapezoid, to bring the door towards you. If you want to add like this kind of door, you would sort of change the angle of that semicircle so it's not perfectly a semicircle. It would sort of start to squish. It would get bigger the closer it is to you and start to squish a little bit further away from you. So it's kind of interesting doing perspective indoors because you're not talking about an infinite skyline, but you still sort of see the rectangle of the door is going to change shape. Like the rectangle of this card is straight on rectangle, but then if I bring part of it towards you, I'm just turning it open, then it looks a little bit different. Sort of has an angle down, has an angle down. It all sort of depends on the perspective of what you're trying to draw and feeling that you're trying to get. So how about I demonstrate that in an actual picture of a door that I want to draw? How are you drawing, Miss Rainbows? How's your drawing going?
It's good.
So that's not really what I want to do here. Let's try it here. I'm going to do it there. So doors are kind of interesting creations or interesting things to see because, or try and draw in very simple shapes, because you just use a rectangle and start to distort it and stretch it, and then you can start adding your details. I'll try and decide if this door is going to be just a sneak peek open. Maybe it's just a sneak peek open from this perspective.
Okay, I'm done, so I'm gonna color.
You're done, so you're gonna color. I'm not sure if this is. You know what I did?
What?
I wanted to do this the opposite way, so I'm gonna do, because with the magic of digital, I'm turning it around. I wanted to make it look like this huge door that somebody's coming towards, and maybe I'm going to keep it closed just for the sake of having 8 minutes to try and draw a really cool big door. And since I'm sort of a little bit lopsided here, just do that. And if I'm standing here looking in, I might see that guy just a bit like that. As he's being pulled open inward. So I kind of like, just as a really easy, simple exercise to do for practice, is playing with our basic shapes like the rectangle or like a circle. If you wanted to do a hobbit door, for example, which is just a circle, you can start playing with that circle shape to open it up and be more of an oval, and it's still, then you have a thicker edge there so you can sort of see the edge of the door, and you can sort of play with any shape that you've got in that perspective and stretch it and skew it. And I have entire pages of my sketchbook just dedicated practicing those kind of things, just to see what kind of perspective we're getting into. A little person here, maybe here, who's sort of just peeking out. And doors can be really simple, easy things to set up atmosphere and storytelling. by how big the door is in perspective to who you're drawing, how little the door is. Like one of my favorite scenes in Alice in Wonderland is her eating the cookies that are on the table and seeing this tiny little door that she can't get through, and she's just so distraught. And of course she causes herself all kinds of problems, doesn't she? What happens to Alice?
I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen the movie? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's only one of my favorites. Did I not read it to you too?
I don't remember. Don't think you did.
Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm just gonna make this a little person peeking out of the door.
Okay, now I know what she wants to read tonight for bedtime.
I'm going to read you Alice in Wonderland. I have several copies of Alice in Wonderland. It's like, why is this person so small? Maybe this person is a little doll or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's a baby doll.
Maybe.
That door maybe, like, or the door is extremely big.
In the light of this place, might do something like this. I'm giving a ceiling perspective. The light's coming out of the door. You can trace the trapezoid and have the light falling out of the door.
What happened?
So we have any questions about maybe creating your doors and perspective again today?
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you like my drawing?
It's an important question. Let's see your drawing. Oh wow, look at your keys. Magic key, a wreathed door. Whoa, what is in this thing? This looks a
I
little
made
creepy.
an imagination picture of what's in my head right now.
Wow.
It's a mimic.
It's a mimic. Why don't you show everybody your mimic?
I made a chest.
She's showing me, but she isn't showing everybody the mimic.
Here you go, guys. I have a magic key, my key trace, my yin and yang old-fashioned key, my modern key, my wreath door, and then I have a mimic inside of the door.
So I'm just using straight up black and white and trying to use my shapes to block out how this door is opening up. I'm going to bring some gray into this. Because why not? Maybe not dark enough. And there might be just enough of that perspective. A little bit of leak under the door, maybe, just a little bit. That's my weird door. That's my 30-minute weird door.
Is it time already to say goodbye?
It's almost time to say goodbye. Maybe now that I've been inspired.
I have like a minute left.
I know, I've got a minute left. Guess what I'll be doing? I'll be doing my own picture. I've been thinking of poor Alice. So big that she is.
I don't know what happens to Alice. What happened?
Well, Alice is so upset that she can't get through the door. She cries. And she's so big, her tears flood the room. And so then when she finds a little bottle on the table that says "drink me," which then makes her shrink, poor Alice shrinks right into an ocean of tears. And when she shrinks herself, she can't get the key that's on the top the thing to open the door because the door is locked. And that silly talking doorknob, if you watch the movie. I'm not feeling very, let's do a little tiny door. And that silly doorknob that she's trying to talk to. There's that little door. And then there's that doorknob that's right there, and it's got eyes, and it's looking at her. This keyhole for a mouth. It says, I'm locked. She can't get through when she's big, because she's too big. And then when she's too big and she finally gets herself shrunk down to size, she can't get through the door because it's locked. She can't get to the key, and the key's way up on the table, and she's just cried and cried and cried. And is sort of drowning in her own tears, and she goes through in the bottle through the keyhole, I think. Is eventually how she gets through. This is me drawing a very quick Alice in like a minute. It's one of my favorite stories is Alice in Wonderland. Because it is kind of the basis of a lot of it's the basis of a lot of great fantasy tales and stories that people have sort of been inspired and created their own versions of things. I'm not doing a very good 1 minute Alice, am I? It's okay. Be kind to your
half an hour.
Be kind to your thing. I don't want to be like what?
It's already been past half an hour.
Well then, should we?
I've had so much fun drawing.
Did you have so much fun drawing?
Yeah.
She doesn't look very much like a child in this. I should make her look more like a child. So this is kind of a bit of a process. I'm going to do a few live drawings myself during the week in December. And you can sort of see how I think about.
This is the last week before we start Christmas.
Oh, that's right. What are we going to do next week?
Candles and ornaments.
Candles and ornaments. This is a weird picture of Alice in a minute, so it's okay. She looks a little bit like a little tiny. Be kind to your picture, right?
Yeah.
So Alice is looking at the door, and she would be
just have to color one, which is going to be a lot of detail. So
let's sort of draw Alice. And Daddy's doing one of our favorite songs. Daddy's there writing out the lyrics of our favorite songs. I just love Alice doing that. You gonna switch over? Okay. I could keep drawing. You know I could. I'll finish it up. How would you like me to finish that up, eh? Oh, this is what we wanted to do.
Wait, don't move it. I'm gonna make everybody.
Don't want to make everybody sick. Ready? Get it. Go! So yeah, I'll finish that off and I'll show you what my little Alice is. Oh, it's us again. So yeah, doors are all about changing the shape and making them different trapezoids, parallelograms, and changing the angles on it.
I have become my picture.
You have become your picture.
Hi.
Why are you here? There you are. Why are you here? You're here because I asked you to be here. I'm very silly today.
Weird.
So next week we're going to draw ornaments and candles, and those are going to be simple shapes too. And so if you have an idea,
I already have a trivia question.
You have a trivia question.
How is ornament spelled?
Ornament.
No, don't give hints.
I'm not going to give hints. Think about it for next week. So we are going to see you guys next week again on Wednesday. So we have next week planned, and we have the week after planned.
And then for Christmas week, we're taking the Christmas break.
Yeah, we're going to take a Christmas break, aren't we? But we're going to see you next week at 4 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us on Doors and Keys. And I hope you guys have created your own fancy doors and your own interesting stories related to them. I can't wait to unlock those secrets. We'll see you guys next time.